All right, David here, back with another episode of the Music Business Radio Behind the Scenes podcast. I was at Music Business Radio HQ, WRLT Studios in Nashville, Tennessee, in Marathon Village, and had a great guest today, Shannon Pollard. He's the president, also the founder of Plowboy Records. Great label, Bobby Bare, Paul Burch, Cheetah Chrome, J.D. Wilkes and the Dirt Daubers, Chuck Mead. Those are all artists on Plowboy Records. They did a great album. It's a tribute album called You Don't Know Me. It's a tribute to Eddy Arnold. You may not know that name. You've heard the songs. You probably heard You Don't Know Me. Elvis covered it. Eddy Arnold had 147 songs on Billboard, second only to George Jones. 28 number one hits. He was a guest host for Johnny Carson's Tonight Show. He had a nationally syndicated television variety show. He's in the Country Music Hall of Fame. Number 22 on CMT's list of the 40 greatest men in country music. He sold 85 million records. And according to Shannon, if you asked Eddy about that, he would say a lot more than that. Colonel Tom Parker was his manager, same guy that managed Elvis. So quite a legacy. And Shannon is actually his grandson and also manages his estate and works with that legacy. We talked about that, and that's kind of how Plowboy Records came together, although Bobby Bare was the first artist that the label signed. We talked about why he didn't do a normal tribute album, the typical tribute album. Frank Black, Lambchop, Drivin N Cryin, Bobby Bare Jr., those are all artists on that album, and not the kind of people that you might think would be influenced by Eddy Arnold, but you know, when you've got 147 songs on the Billboard charts, when you have 28 number ones, and we've sold 85 million, there's a huge influence there. We talked about that and how they're not just a legacy label, but moving into the future. It was kind of a cool thing, too. They went to RCA Studio B. If you're not familiar with that, look it up, RCA Studio B. Elvis did a lot of his stuff there, hundreds of records, actually. And this is something that's on, I think, 17th Avenue, or 16th, in between 16th and 17th, and about Chet Atkins on Music Row. Nashville's Music Row is right by ASCAP and Sony, if you're familiar with that area. So anyway, RCA Studio B, famous studio here in Nashville. We basically had a good talk about that, about where the future of the music business is going. We talked about vinyl. We talked about digital downloads. We talked about the speed of recording. We talked about cassettes. Had a lot of great samples from the music of Plowboy Records artists and this tribute album. The tribute album, again, it's called You Don't Know Me. And if you go to Amazon, it's available right now. One of the things that we did, too, that was always fun is Demo Derby. Demo Derby is back today. We haven't done that for a little bit. We had LaSalle, Youngest Daughter, This Is Lizard, Adam Naylor. Had all of those guys and had some really cool music today. So talked about how those guys got their music to us and some good promotion tips for you. That's it. That's all I got to say. David Hooper here. Thanks for listening to Music Business Radio. And I'm back in the studio again in 1 week. I'll tell you guys about that in a week. And until then, check me out online at musicbusinessradio.com. That's where you can get the full official podcast, musicbusinessradio.com. And if you want to send a music to me for review on the Demo Derby, a music or a CD, whatever you want, press kit, bio, that's always helpful when we review it. You can get the address at musicbusinessradio.com. So hope to hear from you, and I'll see you online, and I'll see you in the studio next week. Bye.